Hello, everybody. I am so honored here to be hosting Bruno, the Brazil Java man, and he and we've been best friends, and it's just for such a since I enter into the Java world and starting become to manage help with the Chicago Java users group, I'm learning so much from Bruno, and I want to thank you everybody to be here and also your patience because I just finished my talk and then I hop over and then it's been a bit of an internet issue because of the extreme cold in Chicago. So thank you all for your patience. And here we are. We have Bruno. I do not need to introduce him much, but I still want to say a few words that I feel so honored and thank you so much, Bruno. And
Thanks
here,
so much, Mary. It's amazing to be here, especially with you, right? So,
oh,
this we're, as you said, we've been friends for such a long time in many areas of life, right? So that has
yeah.
been amazing. And so the last time I was in Chicago, Mary took me to her favorite restaurant, like her
Yeah.
family restaurant, and I was so honored to that.
Thank
Amazing
you.
food, right? So that's
Yes.
great, right?
Yes, that's right. If anybody comes to Chicago, let me know. I'll bring you to that restaurant. Bruno likes it a lot. So yeah,
Yes, right.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so Mary, do you know that I wrote an email to my list a couple of days ago, and
yeah.
I said I was going to be the only speaker to have a puppet with me,
Oh,
right?
oh,
An
yes.
annoying puppet, right? So I
Yeah.
have to start with him, right? So let me
Yes.
let me quickly introduce you guys here to him, the mascot for Javascript groups,
Yeah.
Juggy. Hey guys, how you doing? Hey Mary, good to see you.
Good to see
Okay,
you
so
too,
good.
Chucky.
So good to be around here. Oh, where's my hands? Where's
Yeah.
my hands? Here, my hands. All right, okay. All right, my hand is moving now. Okay, good. All right, so good to see you guys.
Awesome.
Hey,
Awesome.
Mary, it's amazing
Yeah.
to be here. I was in Chicago last time. It was so good to be there with you. Hey, everyone,
Yes.
Juggy, I see people talking about me. Right, cool.
Yes.
So I guess we're here to teach Java.
Yes. That
No,
well,
Juggy, we're
you
not. We're
yeah.
not. No, Juggy, this is our professional developers. Oh, professional developers. So you're here looking for your first job. No, Juggy, not the first job. Those are senior developers. That's a Java Champions Conference. Oh, senior developers, old people. No, Juggy, not old like this. Senior as experience. Oh, experience. What are you gonna teach? What are we gonna teach them? Not you, me. You're gonna teach them? Yeah, I'm talking about reputation. Oh, reputation. Who's gonna teach reputation? You? Yes. Reputation is I. You don't have any reputation. I do, Juggy. Okay, so Juggy, that's enough for you. Hey guys, thanks so much to be here with me. I love you, Mary. All right.
Love
Okay.
you. See you
All right.
later. Yeah.
Okay, Juggy.
Wow.
All
Thank
right.
you. Okay.
Promise. Promise. I promised I would have a puppets. Now I have. Now I can do whatever I want, right?
Yes, that's right. Thank you. Thank you. And Bruno, so the stage is yours. And oh, yeah, let's share your screen and I
No, no,
will
no,
be
no, no. I don't.
annexing.
No share screen right now.
Oh,
So
no, no,
Jeff,
sure, sure. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
I don't
sorry,
want
sorry.
to share screen. Right? That's
Oh,
all
okay.
good. I'm just gonna have a
Oh, good.
conversation with everyone. Hey guys.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then.
Thanks
I
a
will.
lot, Mary. It's
Yeah.
amazing to be here with you, man. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you. Thank you. Okay. Stage is yours. Okay.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Okay. So Martin says, "How rude of Juggy." Yeah, that's Juggy's annoying, man. It's terrible. You have no idea how hard it is to travel with him, right? Okay, so I see lots of people here. Oh man, you guys have usernames instead of names, right? So I don't even know. M. Pratty, I don't know who you are, right? Marcos Graciano. Okay, so hey Marcos, how are you doing? Asturia, North Spain. That's amazing. Jonathan, Chilla. Hey Chilla, how you doing? Miguel. Who else here? Francois, I know, even though his last name right, is a username. So, hey, Francois, how you doing, right? The one Mary and it was great, right? Is it the same? Portilla? I don't know. No, it was a Chinese restaurant, right? It was pretty cool, pretty awesome. All right, so lots of people. Hey, Vincent, right? All right, okay. Hey, Louise, lots of cool people here. I mean, okay, guys. So what I want to do? Hey, Sylvia, very good, right? It's Michael. Oh, that's Michael. Thanks, Michael. All right, thanks a lot, Martin. Thanks a lot, Francois, for connecting. Okay, thanks a lot, Michael. So I have the honor of having a one-on-one conversation with Michael in a couple of weeks, right? So I'm really looking forward to that. That's great, right? Tales from the Jar side. How are you doing, man? All right, I think that's Ken, right? So how are you doing, guys? Awesome. Okay, All right, so let's talk a little bit here. Look, I want to make this. Yes, I can see this, right? So, I know you can. Yeah. So that's cool. All right, so at least I can. You guys have such a small picture, right? It's hard for me to see. Okay. All right, so guys, I want to make this very interactive, right? So my idea is for you to send me all your questions. So here's what I want you to think about, right? Think about two things I want you to think about. One is, where do you want to get? When you look forward to your career, the next year, the next 10 years, right? The next 5 years, whatever you want, where do you want to get? What's your biggest dream for your career, right? And the second thing I want you to think is, why don't you have this right now? Okay. So think about the biggest dream and why don't you have this right now? Because I want to help you with the why you don't have right now. You don't have to tell me the dream. You can if you want to, but I want to hear why you don't have your dream right now. What is it? It's lack of time. It's lack of experience. You don't know how to get there, right? You don't have someone to help you, whatever. Tell me what it is, because my plan here is to discuss reputation and, open source, community, and Java, right? How we can use those three things to achieve your dreams, right? Because that's what I think we all want, right? We learn Java, we study a lot. There's all the new versions, the new technology, everything's going on. But in reality, we're not doing this just for Java. I mean, there's actually, if you think about Java, although Java is an important technology, I'm sure for many of you is the most important technology that you guys use, that you guys learn. We don't do this for Java's sake, right? We do this for something else, right? We want to grow in our careers. We want to get a better position. We want to have a higher salary, right? We want to work on interesting technology. We want to work on interesting projects. So what is, right? So what is the thing, right? So, and by the way, very, very good point, Michael. Mary, I want to really thank Mary, right? Because she had a presentation right before mine, right? But, because me and Francois, we exchanged a place, right? Because Francois presented Kay yesterday. My talk became right after Mary's talk, right? So she got all kind of troubles. So thanks a lot, Mary, because of that. Sorry that we didn't realize this before, right? Okay. So amazed to see all you here. That's great, right? Preparing dinner. Okay, tell us what dinner you're doing, right? Okay, so fast and pure. Okay, so lots of people here. Okay, lots of comments. I don't see any. Come on, I want to hear from you. What's your biggest dream, and why you don't have it right now, right? So, so here is what we're gonna do, right? Reputation. Reputation, guys, is the most important thing you can do in your career, right? It's probably one of the most important things that you can do in your life, because reputation is more important than your house, is more important than your salary, is more important than your job. Reputation is going to get out to you all of that and much more, right? So it's very important that we build reputation. I build what I call the reputation formula. That's the one you see here on the screen, right? Reputate divided by ion, right? It's reputation formula. Lots of interesting things, or what things that you can do to build a reputation, right? So on the reputation formula, you have, let me kind of put that a little bit closer here, right? So on the reputation formula, you have 7 things you need to increase your reputation, and 3 things you need to decrease to increase your reputation, right? And so, and we can use that, we can analyze reputation formula to help you achieve all your goals, right? Because once you have reputation, once you have visibility, people, you're going to get access to the best jobs, to the best projects, to the highest salaries, and that's going to help you achieve your dreams, right? And so just a quick run here, what the reputation formula is. First of all, reputation is about what people think about you, right? What people believe about you. So if I believe good things about you, you have a good reputation. If I don't believe good things about you, then you have no reputation, or you have a bad reputation, right? And so why this is important, right? Because reputation requires visibility. That's what we call trust. reputation requires visibility, because if I don't know you, if I don't know who you are, if I never seen you before, then I don't believe anything about you, right? And so that's why the trust, so trust and visibility, they go together, right? So you have to be visible. You have to be doing things that I can see. You have to be working with me somehow so I can trust you, right? So reputation has a lot to do with trust. The more trust you have, the better reputation you have, right? And so what's insane here, right? I happen to be very cold today, right, in Chicago, right? Yeah, so don't go to the cold, right? This, right? Okay, so trust is fundamental for your reputation, right? So you have to be visible to have trust. But not only that, we are here discussing Java technology and all kinds of interesting products and open source projects and tools and all kinds of new things in Java. So only knowing things, that's not enough. You have to have experience, and experience has to do with doing things, right? So one of the important things of the reputation forum is that you have to take action. It's not only about learning and not doing. It's the other way around. It's about doing. Our brains are built to do things. Just a little aside here, right? One of the hardest things that we have to understand in AI, AI doesn't have experience, right? AI has a lot of knowledge, right? And one hard thing for AI to do is to recognize things. Let me see here what I have, right? So I'm just going to give an example here, right? So, if you look at this here, you're going to see that's a cup, right? And if you look at this here, it's also a cup, right? So, what's the difference? So what's the difference? That's actually a cup. That's a container, right? This is where I put, screws or nails or things like this, right? That's a container, right? And so that's not a cup. I don't drink anything out of this. And that's a cup. But if you take AI, how does AI distinguish between a container to put things in and a cup? AI doesn't know how to do that. Do you know how we do this? We do this because our brains are connected to doing. So when I look at this cup, I think my brain recognizes this. That's the thing that I can drink from. That's a cup. That's a thing I put things inside. That's a container, right? And so that's what's maybe Docker, right? So that's the thing, right? So for us, action is so important that even our visuals are connected to action, right? So experience and reputation has a lot to do with taking action, right? The other things here, you have to have a purpose. You have to have a clear focus. It's very hard to have a reputation, generic reputation. Oh, Mike is good on anything. It doesn't happen that way, right? Oh, Mary is amazing in anything. It doesn't happen that way. People are, they have reputation on something, right? So if I tell you anything about investing, for example, right? Don't listen to me. I'm not trustworthy on investment because I don't know anything about it, right? So that's what you do. People have a purpose, a focus, and they build their reputation around that focus that they have. And so if you want to have a good reputation, you have to get some kind of purpose, some kind of clear focus, clear message, so people trust you on that one thing. Okay, or the one thing can be really big, right? So for example, Mike said here Docker, right? So yes, you can be an specialist in containers. There's so many things on this. You can be a specialist in Java. There's so many things around this, right? You can be a specialist on software development. There's so many things about that, right? So it's not one thing. It's something that you want people to trust you on, right? It is good enough if you recognize the logo in the cup, right? Yes. Okay. So the logo on this particular cup here, that's Javali, right? It's the mascot for So Java, right? So Javali means wide boar in Portuguese, right? So that's what he is. He is the Javali. And so, and actually there's another logo here. is right here, tiny little logo here. That's the So Java logo right there. Okay, cool. And so, okay, so reputation, I jump responsibility. So the first one here is responsibility, right? Because if you want to have a good reputation, you have to be responsible, right? What does it mean to have responsible? You're responsible for something. You take charge on something, right? You do what needs to be done about something, right? And so responsibility, expertise, purpose, right? And then uplift. You have, for you to have a good reputation, you have to be uplifting people around you. Actually, Francois here is the guy that helped me come with the uplift part here, right? So, uplift is that when you bring everyone up with you, right? So you uplift everyone around you. You're a giver, right? You help people out by being a giver, right? And then T is a take action. A is from autonomy. Autonomy, the more you are able to decide what you're going to do, the more autonomy you have, the more reputation you have. Because if all you do is just follow orders, right, that's not going to be a good reputation, right? You're not going to, first of all, because you're not going to have anything that you are doing, right? You're just going to follow orders. And basically, if all you do is follow orders, probably the person that's giving the orders, that's the one that's going to get all the credit for everything, right? And so I think that, the more autonomy you have, the better. So figure out a way to have more autonomy. Autonomy is about you being able to decide what is it you're going to do, right? So, and then trust, right? So responsibility, expertise, purpose, uplift, take action, autonomy, and trust. So those are the 7 things you have to grow your reputation, right? Now, there's 3 things here in the bottom that you have to reduce to grow your reputation, right? So the first one is I. Don't be the I, me person, right? That's, no one likes the person that only talks about themselves. They're the ones that did everything. They're the ones that the most amazing people, right? So they kind of throw confetti at themselves, right? So don't be that person. From all of these here, being the I person is the easiest one to notice, right? Because you're talking to the person and they just say, I did this, I'm good, I achieve it, I, right? So don't be that person, right? The O is, and it's square, right? Outright lies. Don't lie, right? The idea is always say the truth, or at least don't lie. So lying is really bad because it really destroys reputation. Once you're caught in a lie, it's very hard for people to trust you again. So, that's why takers, right? And people that lie and people that trick other people, right? They will move from place to place a lot, right? Because that's the problem. Once I lie, everyone around me caught on my lies. They don't trust me anymore. It's very hard to revert that. So they have to move to the next place, right? And the last one is negativity, right? So don't be the person that's always negative, that's, that doesn't believe things are going to happen, right? It's always causing problems, also being the difficult person, right? I don't know. It's a fine answer for some reason, right? Okay. And so, so that is the reputation formula. So you should be doing all the 7 things in the top and not doing all the 3 things in the bottom to increase your reputation, right? Now, and indeed, Francois is a great example of uplifting person. I agree with you, right? So Francois is a guy, he gives lots of talks, he goes to lots of places, and he's always uplifting. So that's very good. He's the one that came up with the uplift part of the formula, right? That's great. All right. Hey, Suzanne, how are you doing? Okay, so I don't see any questions here. Come on, guys, help me out here. I want to interact with you. I want to do, I want to answer your question about what's going on in your life, in your career, how we can use this, right? But together with the reputation formula, there's 3 things I want to mention to you guys, because I think that's something that I did that I think is very valuable. There's 3 things you can do in your life that will build reputation for you, automatically, right? Just by doing those three things, right? So the first one is technology, right? In our case here, Java. Having having a focus on a technology will really help you. Why? Because if people realize that you are like the Java guy, right? Or Mike was saying Docker, for example, right? Because I use a container there, right? So you're the Docker guy, or you are the software developer guy, you are the career guy, right? So whatever technology you want, and I'm being very specific on tools here, but it could be more broad, right? It could be cloud, it could be architecture, it could be some tech thing that you love, that you want to do, they want to be seen for. It could be, for example, performance, right? Or stability, observability. It doesn't need to be a tool. It could be an area of expertise, right? So any tech area of expertise that you want to focus on, right? Those areas of expertise are really, really important for you, because once you have an area of expertise, what happens? You immediately get, let me get a blue pen here, right? You immediately get purpose, right? Because you have an area of expertise, right? You get expertise, right? Because you have something that you get an area of expertise. People are going to see you as the expert in their area, right? You immediately get take action, for example, right? Because you have to learn that thing. So you take action, right? It gives you responsibility, because now you have to pay attention at that technology, right? It gives you trust, right? On that thing that you're doing, on that focus that you're looking for, right? So having a tech focus, right, gives you autonomy, because now you are going to be the one looking for that thing, right? Looking for that technology. So you're going to be the one, doing what needs to be done in relation to that technology, right? So having a clear focus on a technology helps you build your reputation almost immediately, right? So that's how most people that they're not thinking about their reputation, they're not thinking about how to do that. They end up they end up getting their reputation just because they choose a technology and become good at that, right? So that's a one way for you to build a reputation. Choose a clear technology or tech area or something like this that's going to help you. The second thing that I would suggest you to work on, right? So actually, if you're watching here, tell me in the chat, what is the technology that you have a reputation on, that you would like to have a reputation on? So I know Francois, for example, he's a test guy, right? He participated on the test board. Suzanne is architecture, right, person, right? So she's an architect, right? She discussed architecture. Vincent wrote a book about certification, right? So you have all those people that have some technology, right, that you can work on, right? So Francois asked, but Bruno, how do I get a clear focus, right? It's a choice, Francois. When you because we're talking about technology, focus on technology here, right? It's a choice. It's something that you like to do. It's something that you're good at. It's maybe something that you just did many times, right? So, for example, it's very common that once you start doing something, then people kind of ask you to do similar things, right? So let's say one day you were working on something and you solve a performance problem, right? The next time there's a performance problem in your company, probably your friends are going to say, oh, yes, Francois solved the last performance problem. Maybe he can take a look. And then you get and take a look again on another performance problem. And the more you do that, the better you get, right? And so I think this is a good way. Sometimes, Francois, you just kind of get by doing things, you get into it, right? But many times it's because you're interested, right? So you're the one that's studying this, right? So you're the one that's looking at that. You're the one that's interested about the topic, right? So, for example, for me, I'm known because I teach speakers, right? But I started speaking not because I like it, not because I wanted to do, just because I gave one talk one time, and then people start asking me, talk it again. And I hate it. When I started, I hated it. I was very afraid. I didn't like to go on the stage. But then the more I did, the better I got it. And today I love to do it, right? Um, and so funny that Bruno just described what I was working on today. Okay, good, right? On performance, right? So I know that's you transmitting thinking here, right? But other times it is something that you love to do, right? Because you've been doing, you've been doing because you like as a child, for example, maybe you like sports and you keep doing sports your whole life. Maybe you like, as a child, you like to open up your toys and mix things inside and kind of reconstruct your toys. So now that's what you do with computers, and now you got very good at that, or some other things, right? So whatever, it could be some interest that you have, that you just lean on it. But in the end, it's about doing. The more you do something, the better you get, and usually the better you get, the happier you are with this, right? Telekinesis, I said, Francois, right? So here's some example, right? So ICAG says cloud computing. That's amazing, man. Cloud computing is a great purpose and a great focus because there's so many things about cloud computing. So many companies are moving to the cloud or already in the cloud, right? Cloud computing impacts so many things. So you wouldn't have AI if it wasn't cloud, right? We wouldn't have all the knowledge that we have on building data centers, the knowledge that we have to build the data centers for AI, for example. And so the robots that we're having today, they would not exist if there's not a cloud behind them, because there's no single computer that can process everything that needs to be processed, right? So cloud computing, man, it's a great thing. And one thing I'm trying to show you here is that many times we have a focus and we try to kind of have a tiny focus, but actually you should expand your focus, right? So cloud touches a lot of things. It's not only, oh yes, I want to be an expert in cloud, and so I want to talk, I want to use APIs on Amazon, or I want to run my Java application to cloud. No, cloud can be way larger than that. So if you want to be the cloud guy, you should be paying attention to the whole cloud marketing, right? So if anyone mentions anything about the cloud, you know what it is. You know what it is about, right? And then Vinicius says solving business issues with Java. That's a good thing, interesting thing, Vinicius, right? But the question is, when you try to express that, solving business issues with Java, I'm thinking a lot here, right? So I see this. Business people, they like to use the words business issues, right? Business people, we have Ken Cousin here, for example, he is the expert on managers, right? And so the managers have this language of solving business issues, because they think about business, but they don't care about Java. So when you say, I'm the expert in solving business issues with Java, you lose the business people because they don't care if it's Java, right? On the other hand, when you say with Java, then you're talking for developers, right? And developers don't care about the business side. And so, when you're trying to articulate your focus, you're trying to explain your focus to someone, you have to think about who should you be working with? Who should trust you? Who should pay attention to what you have to say? And what is the words they use? Are developers interested in business issues? Are business people interested in Java? So how do I combine those two things in a way that makes sense? Because you could say, right, I apply the best technology in the market to solve your business issues. That could be one way to connect with the managers, right, with the business people, because they don't care exactly what technology is, but if the best is the most used technology or something like this, they will understand that. Or if you want to talk with developers, you could say, I solve interesting challenges with Java, because developers are more interested in interesting challenges than the business issue. So you see that depending on who you talk to, Vinicius, you have to adjust how you say it, right? So Francois says, good point, right? So you might not like something at first, but once you get good at it, you might enjoy it. Also shows why it might be worth not to stop immediately if you don't like it. So actually, Francois, this is a very, very good point, man, because the idea is, you should do something for at least enough time for you to go beyond the hurdles, beyond the difficulties, because everything that you start, you immediately get hit with difficulties, right? You can't do it. You don't know how to do it. It's painful. It's hard. It's difficulty. Your brain hurts. You get tired at the end of the day. You make mistakes, and it's terrible to make mistakes because you feel bad. You feel terrible. So if you stop at that moment, you never get enough to know if you like it or not, right? So one thing that I did with my kids, for example, was that, they could go experiment with different things, right? But they could know if they want to do something, they could just, yes, I want to start and then stop. They could stop anytime, but after a period of time that they experimented. Because if they don't, because in the beginning it's hard, right? So you have to go beyond that. You have to go beyond the beginning. Once you go beyond the beginning and you're doing it, and then you say, I don't like it, that's perfect. That's awesome, right? Because you try it, you gave it a real shot to it, and then you find out you don't like it. And that's okay. You're not obliged to like everything, right? But if you don't give a real shot at it, that's a problem. So for example, for me, writing for me was so hard. Guys, you have no idea how hard it was, right? It was very painful. And, and I wrote articles and I wrote other things. It was so painful for me to write anything. And I never like it to write, right? Every time for me, I keep postponing it. I don't want to do it. For me, it's hard. So I'll do it sometime in the future, something like this. Very, very hard for me to write. And so then eventually I said, look, I need to write. I'm helping my mentees to write books. I'm helping my friends to write articles. I'm helping developers to write emails, right? So it's like, man, I need to give like a real shot at writing, not just kind of writing here and there, but just kind of really try to do it. And so I tried many times, right? So I would start writing daily emails, for example, right? I would write emails every day, and then I'll miss it and forgot to do it. And then, then a month later, I didn't write any emails, right? So, so basically, eventually I said, look, I have to give a shot to really do it. And then that happened last year. So last year I said, look, I'm going to be as consistent as possible. And I start writing emails every day, right? So in the last year, I have to see my statistics exactly, right? But in the last year, I probably missed like 5 days of emails the whole last year, right? So if you look, if you're with me for a year on my main list, for example, and you search for my main list on your inbox, you should have around 300, 250, because I didn't start in January, right? So I start like in March, I think, March or April. And so you should have somewhere close to 300 emails from me in your inbox, right? Since last year, right? And so, and then today, for me, writing, it's not a pain anymore, right? Because I went beyond the hurdles, beyond the fear, beyond the the pain, right? And once you do that, so if I wanted to say, look, I give it a shot, I tried, I don't want to do anymore, I could, right? Because I've already given honest try. So I totally agree with you, Francois. Give an honest try, go beyond the beginning, and that's going to make a big difference, right? What do you think? Should you try everything at least once? No, I don't think so, Francois. I don't think you should try everything, right? First of all, because it's impossible, right? There's no way you can try everything, right? But I think you should try the things that you consider important for you, right? So try it out, and if there is an opportunity, if someone, because lots of those things are about luck, right? So for example, I don't know. I'm not, I live in Brazil, right? So right now it's cold for you guys. I'm here, sunny and nice, right? So different than last year. Last year at this talk here, it was pouring rain, very windy. I had a power outage in my presentation here. Today is nice. Sun is out. It's a beautiful day. No wind, so it's gonna be good, work fine today, right? But so for me, for example, I never got any interest in skiing. right? And so last year on J Focus events, I heard they had like a skiing trip. I wasn't at that event, so I didn't go. This year, there's not going to be a skiing a trip, right? So I never skied in my life. Now, and I don't have any interest, right? So I'm not like, I'm going to try skiing because that should be good, right? I never wanted to do, I never care about it. It's not something I'm interested in. So I don't plan to do it. But let's say I'm visiting Francois one day in Switzerland, for example, right? And it's very cold, it's snowing outside, and Francois tells me, hey, Bruno, you know what? Maybe we could go skiing. Well, the opportunity showed up, right? It's right there. Why not? I could experiment and maybe I could love it, right? And so I don't think you have to try everything once, Francois. But if the opportunity shows up and you think that's okay, yeah, go ahead, take it, man. Experiment because you could really enjoy. Okay, I learned that like writing after deciding to participate in a writing contest, right? And I was forced to write text longer than 3 times character every day. That's good. Yes, that's a good way, Andres. That you get forced to do somehow, and then you do it, right? Now I read them, and they're better than I remember. That's okay. But I still cannot finish any writing if I don't have a deadline. Yes, so probably because that's not something that you love to do, right? You did it once, you were forced to do, you did it, and maybe that's not something that you really like to do, right? So, if you want to keep doing. If you want to not doing, maybe not need to do it, right? I joined that contest because I want to start a blog, right? And get the habit, right? The habit didn't stick. Exactly, right? Because that's not enough. Writing every day for 2 weeks, it's not enough. You want to build a habit. You build a new circuit in your brain for a habit. Research shows somewhere between 50 to 90 interactions, right? Or repetitions. So people say 66 is the magic number, right? So 2 weeks writing every day, that's still only 14 or 15 repetitions, right? That's not enough, right? So if you want to build a habit, so today, for example, I used to not like writing, Andres, but today, if I don't write my email, it keeps nagging on my brain. You didn't write the email, you didn't write the email, you didn't write the email, you didn't write the email. So that's the habit, right? It's kind of, my brain wants to write, right? But I did this for a whole year, almost 300 emails, right? And so, you need more repetitions, Andres, than only 2 weeks, right? Most publishers will give you deadlines, right? Yes, that's true. Okay, but I can't finish. No, that's the point, right? So for you to build a habit, it's not about finishing. It's about doing. It's not about finishing, right? For you to build a habit, it's about doing it every day. It's not finishing, right? If you start a new article, don't start a new article every day because then you're gonna build a habit of start and never finish, right? But don't. The idea is to do it every day. It's not about finishing, right? So when you build a habit, it's not about completing; it's about the doing. Okay. All right. Yeah, it never feels complete. That's true. That's why you need to put a deadline. Someone has to say, you got to finish right now, right? And that's one of the biggest problems of perfectionists, for example, right? A perfectionist is, I'm not saying that you are, Andres, I don't know, but a perfectionist is someone that's, Francois is talking about high standards, right? That could be, right? And so basically, when you're a perfectionist or you say you have high standards, right? Perfectionist is someone that's afraid to deliver, right? So basically, you keep raising your standard. Oh, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough because you don't want to release it. You don't want to finish because you're afraid of what's going to happen. It's not going to be good enough. People are going to complain about it. People are going to bash me, whatever, right? So people will, it's not going to be good enough, right? So someone is going to criticize me. And so, and that's how you become a perfectionist, right? So you're afraid of delivering. Now, the problem with the perfectionist is that you put a deadline on it, right? It's like Andre's talking about. So then what happens is that, you don't want to finish, don't want to finish. And then the deadline arrives and then you just finish whatever you have. And so that's not a good way because that's guarantees that your finish is going to be weak. right? Is it be it code or writing or a video, whatever, right? So so you have to build a habit of finishing. That's a habit too, Andres. So so maybe figure out something that you can finish every day, right? And then start finishing things every day, right? So get all the texts you wrote in the past, and every day you finish one. So so today I'm going to finish this. Just finish, put last phrase, finish, and do something with it, right? So get on the habit of finishing. It's another habit, right? Perfection is worst enemy of good enough. That's perfect. So guys, I want you to hear what prevents you from achieving your goal, achieve your big dream. Write to me, what prevents you from achieving your big dream? Okay, so that's the first thing that we talk about, tech. Have a tech focus, right? The first thing. The second thing I want to talk about is community, right? Mary is a community person, right? So how does getting involved in the community have to do with reputation, right? How does getting involved in a community helps you with your reputation? Here are a few things that you have to understand, right? So participate in communities, you are automatically a uplifting person, right? Because you're helping others. So participate in communities, guys, is very, very important. So when you have a technology, look for the communities that are behind or they're around the technology. So for example, talk about Java. There's several communities behind this technology. First of all, there is the JCP, is a community. The Java is a group, it's another community. The OpenJDK, right? It's another community. Apache, it's another community. Eclipse Foundation, another community. I mean, just the JavaScript groups, there are like 400 JavaScript groups in the world. That's 400 communities around Java, right? So then get close to those communities. Go help them out. Go volunteer. Go participate, because that's what you want. You want to be a giver. You want to help other people. You want to uplift. So by helping a community, you uplift others, right? You also take action, right? Because communities require people to take action. You're taking responsibility, right? So you're doing something. You're taking responsibility, right? It reduces the I, because you are helping others. So it's not about you, it's about them, right? So reduces the I, right? It's when you're participating in a community, you're seeing other people, you're helping them out. It also reduces your negativity. You stop being difficult because you have to work with others. There's no way that someone can run a community alone, right? So by participating in communities, you also build trust, right? Communities, they're usually a volunteer work. So Mary, for example, is here with me. Mary is organized a huge community about AI, right? And she's doing this voluntarily. She's so committed to it. She's so responsible that she's actually not working. She's not working in any jobs just so she can have all the time to work for her volunteer work, right? So that's amazing. So that builds a lot of autonomy because she's doing this voluntarily. It's a lot of responsibility because she's doing this voluntarily, right? So community is going to give you several of the reputation formula steps, all right? I personally prefer it's better done than perfect, right? Says Francois, is good. Strive for perfection, achieve excellence. Yeah, I'll say you, Mike, I'll tell you one thing. I kind of prefer that it's better done than perfect, right? Because for me, it's never perfect, right? It's just I just want to deliver, right? Delivers good, right? Oh, Mary, come on. You should talk about your community here a little bit more, right? So, not being able to define my dream. So don't define your dream, Andres. Define your difficulty, right? That's what I want to hear, right? My tip is think about all the cases where you had to deliver something before you felt it was ready, right? How many of those times did it end badly, right? Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good way to think. But that's a good way, Francois, to face the fear of delivering, right? But in reality, the best way to overcome your fears is to do the opposite, right? It's not about things that you thought about problem, not about how many times it end badly. It's the other way around. Think about the results. Put your dreams above your fears, right? Because that's how you can do those things, right? So for example, think about every time that you did not want to deliver, you did not want to finish, you were afraid of doing it, but then you did for some reason because there was a deadline, because someone forced you to whatever, and think about how amazing that was, how much it helped someone, right? So for example, if you heard my story of how I did this presentation here last year, it was crazy, man. I was raining, and my power went out, and so I had to turn the generator. The generator failed. There's like all kinds of problems in that presentation. In the middle of it, I was like, oh man, why I'm doing this? Isn't it much better that I just tell everyone, sorry guys, my power is out, let me just not do it? Because it was terrible for everyone, right? They're watching me and then I fell. They watch me again, then I fell again, right? They disappear, right? And so it's like, isn't it better for everyone if I just give up and tell them, look, guys, sorry, it's not going to work today. I can do it another day, whatever. But that's me not wanting to deliver anymore, right? So I'm afraid, oh man, I'm doing the wrong thing. But I came back. Every time I came back, every time I tried again, every time I did it. And by the end of it, I got so many good positive feedbacks that now I'm like, man, I'm glad I did it. I'm happy that I did it. I'm happy that I overcome the challenge. I'm happy that I overcome my fears. I'm happy that I delivered, right? So think about the results, right? How amazing it was. That was an amazing thing, right? I didn't know giving up was in the vocabulary. Well, it is, right? So we have to fight about this, right? Hey, Loyani. Loyani's here. Amazing. So guys, Loyani, she says progress over perfection. That's amazing, Loyani. So Loyani is going to be here, not the next talk, 2 talks from now. Loyani is going to be here talking about React, right? And I'll be with her. I'll introduce Loyani in 1 hour from now, right? So about 1 hour and 10 minutes from now, I'll be here with Loyani. That's great, right? So okay, everyone's talking to Loyani. I want you to ask questions to me here, right? So hello, Loyani. Everyone's loved that you're here. Amazing. But send your question because I have just a few more minutes here. All right. So community was going to give you lots of reputation from, right? Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about, right? Open source. Okay. Open source. I always tell these guys because it's true. Open source is the best thing for the developer career. If you're not doing open source as a developer, somehow you're missing out, right? So participate on open source in any way you can, right? Because that's going to be great. So what does open source gives you? So you have a technology that you want to focus on, right? You participate on communities of that technology, and then you get involved on open source on that area that you want, right? So what happens when you do this? Open source gives a lot. First of all, it gives you lots of experience because now you're writing code, you're solving problems publicly, right? It gives you lots of trust and visibility, right? Because it's public. People can see what you're doing, right? It uplifts people, right? Because of course you're writing code that other people can use. That's amazing, right? It's a lot of responsibility, right? When you get a piece of code that's lots of people going to use, or maybe just a few people going to use, and you're writing that code and you're responsible for it, and you're responsible to fix that problem, it gives you a lot of responsibility, right? It's a lot about taking action. If you don't take action, you're not participating in open source. Even if you're helping out with the documentation, if you're helping out with the organization of the project, you have to do things. People talk about meritocracy. The meritocracy, open source is a meritocracy-based community. And then people think, oh, yes, because it's based on merit. And then people believe that merit is something that you have, right? So that's not how it is. In meritocracy is people that do it, because the idea is not merit just because you have merit. Oh, because you're amazing. Oh, because you're famous. No. Merit in this regard is that you do things. So on open source, those who do are the ones that control the project, right? Those who do. So if you are doing open source, you are taking action, right? Autonomy. Open source you do because you want. So it's full autonomy. You do whatever you think that needs to be done. You work on what you think is important for you to work on. Very, very important for autonomy. So, of course, it reduced the III, right? And so, open source will help you with everything in the reputation formula, right? It's really going to help you crystallize your reputation, and so that's an amazing thing. You should be doing that, right? Now, how about the outright lies? Yeah, guys, nothing will prevent you from lying, right? And so that's on you, right? So it doesn't matter what you do, don't lie, right? That's on you, and you have to solve that yourself. The other things, you can build them by choosing a technology, whatever technology you want, or technology area, by participating in communities of that area, and by participating in open source projects of the thing that you focus on, right? And that's going to help you really to do that, right? So let's see what else question there's here, right? I have a complaint. There's too many great talks today. No time for a break between sessions. Okay, Johan, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna keep talking here a little bit more, so you have to choose my talk instead of the other one. How about that, right? No, I'm not gonna make it so hard for you. Yes, man. There's so many talks. Now, the good thing is that if you're watching, Johan, you can take a break. You put a headphone, put some headphones on, and you can take a break and go have lunch and go do something else. We, the speakers, we can't do that, right? But you can, no problem, right? Select worse talks next time, right? Yes. Let's do a better committee next time, right? You can have worse talks, right? Even report issues help out open source, right? I had to tell that to a colleague today. You're still contributing at that point. Yes, even when you find a problem, you find a bug, you find a situation. Now, here's what happens, guys. Lots of people find a bug and they just follow the bug. That's okay. It's good. I'm not complaining about this. Do it, right? But look, open source has the big advantage that you have access to the source code. It's running in your system. You found the problem because it's running in your system. So how about you do something that's good for you? When you find the problem, take a look. Take a look at the code. Take a look at the problem. Debug the problem. See if you can find a solution, because that will give you expertise, right? So then you contribute back. You say, I found this bug. I took a look. I think it's in this part of the code, and I think if we do this, fixes. And then you submit a report, right? Because now you're telling the creators of the project, whatever, the committee of the project, what they can do to fix it, for example, right? It might be the wrong fix, by the way, because it depends. It could work in your situation, but not work in other situation, whatever, right? But looking at the code will give you expertise, and that's going to be great. Okay, yeah, a good bug report is 80% of the work for sure, right? Write a test case to reproduce the issue and contribute that. That's worth in gold. Very, very good, Francois. I totally agree with that, right? So yes, if you contribute a test case, man, that's amazing, because that's actually even better than fixing the code, right? Because fixing the code, you might not know, you might not have the exact solution for it, or it might create some other issues. But if you create a test that shows the bug, man, that's amazing, because now that goes into the project test case, test base, and that's going to be run forever on the project to guarantee that bug never comes back, right? Okay, very good. All right, so I'm almost out of time here. I don't see any more questions. Did I answer all your questions, right? Thanks, Mike. So I'm looking here. I don't see any questions. So guys, hopefully that's what. So here's to end. You build your reputation. That's going to be the most amazing thing for your career. Do that by choosing a technology focus, participate on communities of your technology, participate on open source. In Java, right? If you choose Java, Java has Java's groups community, the JCP community. That's where the communities meet on Java. And then open source is OpenJDK, right? OpenJDK is the main open source project in the Java world, so you can participate. But the cool thing is that There's so many amazing open source projects around Java. You can participate in any of that, right? So Francois is saying that I only spoke for 10 minutes, right? Thanks a lot, Francois. Maybe I didn't say a lot, right? So that's why it looks like 10 minutes. That's good, right? Thanks, always inspiring. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so Mary, before you guys go, let me give you a gift, right? So Mary,
Okay.
can
All
you
right.
can you yes,
I'll share.
can
Sorry,
you
I
share?
was a little, yeah, I kind of,
No, no,
anyway.
I forgot about this, right? Okay, so guys, look, we're in the beginning of the year, right? And so I wrote this little book called The Best Developer Year. That's a book that has the questions that I ask people when I want to help them build their careers, right? So if you download that book and you answer the question, it's a very short book with lots of questions, right? So if you answer the question of that book, it's going to help you have clarity on your focus, have clarity on what you want to do. It's going to help you plan the best year of your life, right? So that's why the best developer year. So, download it right now. That's the URL right there, jav.mn/best year. And, and if you do that, two things going to happen, right? One, you're going to get an email from me with the book, right? So you're going to get a free book that can help you your career. The second thing is going to happen is that you're going to receive an email from me with the book, right? That means that if there's any question that you have about your career that I was not able to answer, you can reply to that email and say, hey, Bruno, can you help me out with this, right? And so that's the two things going to happen. So come on, let's do this, right? Andre says, I remember when I downloaded the book, right? And I got to my main list. That's good, Andres. So I'm glad you're still here for 3 years later. That's awesome, right? You said a lot, but still feels like 10 minutes. Okay, Francois, that's good, man. All right, guys. So hey, Samuel, good to see you here. Okay, so thanks, Jonathan. Thanks, Sylvia. Sylvie, right? So thanks, Luis. Thanks, everyone. So okay, that was great. And thanks a lot, Mary, for being
Thank
here.
you.
Right? It was amazing to be here with you. Thanks a lot.
Amazing, Bruno. Thank you so much. And thank you to all. And I love this community. So it's like family, Thank you.
Yes.
So,
So Mary,
yeah.
tell us which is the community that you're running right now?
Oh, sure. The AI one is AI Collective is called. So we start chapters everywhere too. If you're interested, right? We're encouraging everybody.
Okay, so but what's the name of the community again?
Oh, the name of the AI Collective. So you can go
Oh,
to
AI
AI Collective, all lowercase.com. That's the site. And then you can see too, if you want to start a chapter or, doing anything partnership or something, we'll be welcome to. Yes, I'm spending a lot of time on that. But like you said, Bruno, I want to make a quick note. It's funny, like how, even though, yes, it's not paid, right? It's like pro bono work, but
Mhm.
the joy you receive, the connection, of all people, it's like you get payback, even though it's not monetary, but yeah, but it's great, from that sense. So, and I like that. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome, Mary. It's awesome that you're doing this, right? And
thank you.
so, but the AI Collective is for what? For people that want to learn AI, they want to do AI. What's that for?
Exactly. Oh, yeah. So there are different pillars, right? There are technology, like what we're doing, that's only one. And then there are also this startup community with investors. And so you are really into innovation, all that, wanting to make it a business. And we can also be trying to help you to make connection with investors too. And then there are product, their user experience, their education, all kinds. It's pretty open. We want to essentially say AI is for people. We want to help make the human connection. So yeah, and I want to introduce you, Bruno, to the community. And Louis already has promised to help, right? Sao Paulo chapter. So that's wonderful. So I want to encourage too if anybody
Yeah.
wants to do anything with it. So yeah,
That's very cool. That's
thank
very
you.
cool. So, but I'm gonna agree with Mike. There's no better community than Java community. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how great the AI Collective is, the Java community is better.
But
And I'm
it
great
is
too. Yes.
very true, Juggy. Yes, you
Thanks,
came at the right
everyone.
time.
It's good to be
Yeah.
here with you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right. Bye
All right. Thanks a
bye.
lot, Mary. It was great to have. Thanks, everyone. It's great to have
Bye
you guys
bye.
here.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank
Right.
you. We'll see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
See you.
you.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Da, 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 da.